Join fast. So 28 students have joined to this meeting. We will start our lecture within few minutes. If some of your friends is not attending the class, you can call him and you can tell him to join this lecture, okay? Because very less attendance is there today. Only 29 students have participated. We'll wait for 2 more minutes and after that I will start my lecture, okay? So in the last lecture, in the yesterday's lecture, we have discussed about pronouns, okay? Pronoun and its types, okay? And the lecture before that, before yesterday's lecture, we have completed the noun, okay? So in the last lecture, we have discussed about the pronouns, okay, and its types. So pronouns are the words which we use in place of noun, okay. To avoid the repetition of noun, we use pronoun, okay, or to uh, or we use pronoun in the place of noun, okay. That is why it is called as pronoun. So there are many types of pronoun such as personal pronoun, okay, personal pronoun. Then there are demonstrative pronoun. So there are many types of pronouns that we have discussed in the last lecture, okay. Let me share you the screen, okay, and we will see this presentation. Okay, is this presentation visible to all of you? Presentation?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yes, in the last lecture we were at pronoun, okay. In the last lecture we have seen pronoun and its types, okay. Yes, firstly we have seen nouns and its types. Then in the last lecture, we have discussed about the pronouns. Okay, so there are different types of pronouns. That is personal pronoun. Personal pronoun have three cases: subjective case, objective case, and possessive case. Okay, I in subjective case is used as me in objective case, and in possessive case it is used as my or mine. In that way we use different pronouns. Okay, so also we have discussed about the relative pronouns that shows the relation between two people or two incidents. Okay, who, whom, which, what, whose, these are the relative pronouns. Then next there is interrogative pronouns. So these are the pronouns which we use to ask questions. Okay, and that is why they are called as interrogative pronouns. Then they are examples, uh, the words or interrogative starting with WH word, such as what, which, where, whom. Demonstrative pronouns. The fourth type is of demonstrative pronouns. So these are the pronouns which we use to demonstrate things. Okay, this, that, these, those. These are the four demonstrative pronouns. Okay, so we have seen them in the last lecture. Then there we have seen the reflexive pronouns. Okay, so someone is talking about himself, then we use self or selves. Okay, so reflexive pronouns are the words ending in self or self that are used when the subject and the object of a sentence are same. Okay, when we use a reflexive pronoun when subject and object of that sentence is same. Okay, and there are pronouns uh, that is possessive case, pronouns in the possessive case. In the reflexive case, reflexive type of pronoun, we only add self to that. Okay, so my becomes myself, our become ourselves, your becomes yourselves, him becomes himself, her becomes herself, it becomes itself, and them becomes themselves. Then yes, we have seen some of the examples, we have solved them, and we were at, yes, we were in the last lecture, we were at the third part of speech, that is verb. Okay, so what is verb and what is its definition, we will see in this lecture. Okay, so first of all, let's discuss about the definition of the verb. Okay, so verbs are the words which show action or state of being. Okay, so verbs are the words which show action or state of the being. Okay, action means what? That we used to do. Okay, so action means what? Act. Okay, and state of being means what? State of being means having a state. If someone is poor, then it is called as a state of that person. Okay, it is state of being of that person. Poorness is the state of being. Then happiness or other. Okay, so these are called as a state. Okay, then uh, so, what is verb? Verb is the word which shows action or state of being. What are its examples? The examples are each and every verb. Okay, each and every action denoting word is called as verb. Okay, so verbs are the action denoting words. they denote action. Okay, that is why they are called as verb. So let's see some of the examples. Examples are play, see, walk, understand, know, then trick. Okay, so these are some of the examples of verb. Okay, let's see some of the examples and use them in a sentence. Okay, first, I play cricket, but I also like football. Okay, I play cricket, but I also like football. So play and like, these two are the examples of verb. Okay, these are the two verbs present in this sentence, and they are highlighted by the red color. Okay, so next example, B. He knows that I feel bad about it. He knows that I feel bad about it. So here there are two verbs in a sentence, and these verbs are know and feel. Okay, knows and feel. These two are the verbs which came here in the sentence and which gives the meaning to the sentence. Okay, then the next C example, let's see another example. I can dance better than him. Okay, so here in this example, can dance, here in this example, can dance is the verb which come in connection with each other. Okay, or which is followed. Okay, can is followed by dance. Okay, that is why here there are two types of verbs in this sentence. Okay, and these two types are, let's discuss them later. uh, I will tell you that can and dance, these are the two types of different types of verbs present in connection with the with each other in this sentence. Okay, I can dance better than him. Then the next type, next example is the sky is blue. Okay, so there is only one verb in the sentence, and it is. Okay, so there are let's discuss about these two types. Okay, so there are two types of verbs. Okay, the first type is the helping verb. Okay, first is helping verb and second type is main verb. So these are the two types of verbs. Okay, so first type is helping verb. Okay, and second is main verb. So these two types of verbs are there in English. Okay, and let's see the first type. Let us discuss about it. The first is helping verb, or we can say it as auxiliary verb or supporting verb. You can uh, you can call it by any of these three types. It is auxiliary verb or helping verb or supporting verb. Okay, so auxiliary verb means helping verb, and these auxiliary verbs also has two different types. Okay, subtypes. So these are primary auxiliary and second is modal auxiliary. First is primary auxiliary and second is modal auxiliary. Let's see what is primary auxiliary and what are its examples. Okay, so primary auxiliaries are the primary helping verbs, and these are the forms of to be to do and to have. Okay, so to be form verbs, to do form verbs, and to have form verbs comes under the primary auxiliary. Okay, so in the to be form there are some of auxiliary verbs that come under the to be form, and they are am, is, are, was, were, shall, will. These come under to be form. Then the next type is to do form. Okay. Then what are the examples of to do form? Do or does and did. These two are the to do form of primary auxiliaries. And there is third type, and it is to have form. Okay. And in the to have form there are have or has, had, shall have, or will have. These come under the to have form. Okay, so in the primary auxiliary there are three subtypes or three forms: to be form, to do form, and to have form. In the to be form there comes am, is, are, was, were, shall, will, and be. Okay, so these come under the primary auxiliary. And in the to be form then there is a to do form, and these examples of to do form are do or does and did. Okay, and in the to have form there come have or has, had, shall have, or will have. Okay, have or has is a present form, had is the past form, and we use shall have or will have in the future form. Okay, so these types of forms we use in primary auxiliary sentences. Let's see one example. I am writing a paper. Okay, I am writing a paper. So in this sentence, am is a primary auxiliary which is of to be category. Okay, or to be form of verb. Okay, or to be form of primary auxiliary. Am is the to be form of primary auxiliary. Then the second type of auxiliary is, or second type of helping verb or auxiliary verb or supporting verb is modal auxiliary. Okay, second type is modal auxiliary. And which are the examples, or which are the verbs that come under the modal auxiliary? There are also different verbs which come under the modal auxiliary, and these are examples are can, could, should, would, may, might, must, need to, ought to, dare to, used to. So these are called as modal auxiliary. And examples can, could, should, would, may, might, must, need to, dare to, used to, ought to. These are called as modal auxiliaries. So let's see in sentence form. Example is, let's see example. I must study English. Okay, I must study English. मी इंग्लिशचा अभ्यास केलाच पाहिजे. So must here works as a modal auxiliary. Okay, or must is the modal auxiliary in the sentence. Okay, then the next how we construct the sentence, another examples. I must go to school. Okay, I must go to school, or I must attend the lectures. Okay, so must here works as a modal auxiliary. So verb has two types. There are two types of verb or two categories of verb. First is auxiliary verb and second is main verb. The auxiliary verb has two different types or two different subtypes. Okay, and these are primary auxiliary and second is modal auxiliary. Okay, so in the primary auxiliary there are three forms of verbs: to be form, to do form, and to have form. Okay, and examples of to be form: am, is, are, was, were, shall, will, be. Shall, will, and be. Be is separate, not shall be or will be. Okay, shall, will, and be. The to do forms of verbs are do, does, did, and to have forms of verbs are have or has, had, shall be, shall have, or will have. Okay, so these are the auxiliary primary auxiliaries, and in the modal auxiliary there come can, could, should, would, may, might, must, ought to, need to, dare to, used to, ought to. Okay, so these are called as modal auxiliaries. Okay, so this is about the auxiliary verb or auxiliary uh, or supporting or helping verb. Okay, the next type is main verb. Okay, next type of verb is main verb. Okay, there comes regular, irregular, transitive, and intransitive. So regular verbs are also categorized in four types or four parts. First is regular, second is irregular, third is transitive, and fourth is intransitive. So main verbs has four types: regular, irregular, transitive, and intransitive. So first is regular. Okay, so what is this type, or what is different in this type? So this is the type in which past tense is formed with ed. Okay, in the regular verbs past tense is formed by adding ed suffix. Let's see it with the example. Okay, so first is regular verb in which past tense is formed by ed suffix. So let's take example of play. If uh, in the present tense or present form of play is play, then its past form is played. Okay, and its past participle or third form is called is also played. Okay, so ed suffix is added and it is uh, its past is made by adding ed suffix. So play, played, played is the regular verb because ed suffix is added to the verb. In the irregular type of verb, past tense is formed without ed suffix. Okay, so if there is an irregular form of a verb, then its past tense is formed without adding ed suffix. Okay, so let's discuss its example or see its example. Its example is write, wrote, written. Okay, so write is the present form, its past form is wrote, and its third form or past participle form is written. Okay, write, wrote, written. So there is irregularity in the first to second and third form. Okay, and here past tense is not formed with ed suffix. It is formed without ed suffix. That is why it is called as irregular verb. So there are many examples of irregular verbs are also in English, and they are like eat. If we want, if there is eat, in the present form verb is ate, then its past will be ate, and its pp or past participle will be eaten. Okay, eat, ate, eaten. So there is irregularity in three forms. Also, another example is do, did, done. Okay, do is the present, did is the past, and done is the past participle form. So there is also irregularity, and that is why it is called as irregular types of verbs. Then the third form or third type of main verb is transitive verb. Okay, so transitive are the verbs which takes object. Okay, so transitive verbs are the verbs which take object. Means what? In a sentence, if there is object present after the verb, then it is called as transitive. Okay, in Marathi we call it as sakarmak. Object means what? Karma. And transitive means what? Sakarmak, having object. Okay, so verb which is having object or which is followed by object is called as transitive verb. Okay, and the verb that is not taking object, okay, verb which does not take object is called as intransitive verb. Okay, so intransitive verb is the verb which does not take object. After that verb there is no object, or there comes no object in the sentence. That is why it is called as intransitive. So let's see its example. Let's understand it with example. Example is the train arrived at the station. Okay, the train arrived at the station. Here the train is subject, arrived is the object, and at the station is arrived is the verb, and at the station is object. No, arrived at the station is not the object, it is the complementary part. Okay, if we ask question to the verb what arrived, then it is not answering that question. It's if it is answering or its answer is in the object, then only it is called as object. And if it is not answering, then it is not called as object, it is called as complement. Okay, so see, transitive are the verbs in which verb takes object, but in intransitive verb does not take object. I study English. In this example, I is a subject, study is the verb. If we ask question with what study, then it is answering English. I study English. So English is or English works as an object in this sentence. But if we see the next example to it, the train arrived at the station. The train is the subject, arrived at the is the verb, at the station is the if we ask question to the verb, then is it answering that object? What arrived? If we ask this question, what arrived, there is no answer. At the station is not the answer or not the correct answer to that question. That is why at the station is the complementary part. And here in this example, in the second example, there is no object present in this sentence. That is why it is called as intransitive. Okay, समजलं काय? So we have seen the transitive and intransitive. Also, the transitive verb has two more categories. Okay, monotransitive and ditransitive. Okay, so what is the monotransitive? Monotransitive is the verb which takes only one object. Okay, in the monotransitive, verb takes only one object. That is why it is called as monotransitive. From its name itself, mono means what? One. Okay, and transitive means taking object. Okay, so in the monotransitive, verb only takes or verb takes only one object. He plays cricket, okay, or he eats a mango. Here, a mango or cricket works as a object of the sentence. Then in the ditransitive, let's see the information about ditransitive. Ditransitive, verb which takes two objects. Okay, so ditransitive are the verbs which take two objects. Let's see or let's discuss it with the example. Example is I gave him a pen. Okay, I gave him a pen. So in this example, there are two objects present over there. Okay, here in this example, there are two objects. I gave him a pen. If you ask question with WH word what, then it will give direct object. And if you ask question starting with WH word whom, then it will give you indirect object. Okay. So I gave him a pen. If you ask question with what gave, it will answer a pen. And if we ask question whom gave, then it will answer him. Okay, so I is the subject, gave is the verb, him is the indirect object because it comes after asking the question whom. And what gave means if we ask question starting with what, it will answer a pen. So a pen is the direct object and him is the indirect object. That is why it is called as transitive and monotransitive and ditransitive. Okay, so this is about the monotransitive and ditransitive. Okay, so 3 minutes has left for this meeting. After 3 minutes, you will have to join once again to this meeting. Okay, but don't quit the second part of this lecture. Okay, so we will complete this third part of speech, that is verb, in today's lecture. Okay, so